Hello, I'm Noel Cronin, and I have a question for you. How do you like your heroes? Wielding a sword in medieval England, fighting crime in the streets of 1950s London, or even exposing insurance cheats and saving their company thousands of pounds? Well, Talking Pictures TV has all those for you and more. In the coming weeks, some not seen on your screens for many, many years. Join me as I introduce them to you. Richard the Lionheart is perfect for fans of the adventures of Robin Hood, Sir Francis Drake and the adventures of Sir Lancelot. This series was produced by the Danziger brothers between 1962 and 1963 and hasn't been seen on our screens for many years. Irish actor Dermot Walsh plays the king. Dermot is a familiar face to TPTV viewers, having appeared in films such as Jazzy and The Mark of Cain. He is also joined here, as one would expect, by a very impressive list of guest stars, including Roy Kinnear, Conrad Phillips, Susan Shaw and Francis Matthews. Make sure you don't miss your weekly appointment with the good King Richard.
Well, Sir Philippe de Brose.
I come in peace, Prince Richard. Remember, we are both knights in the service of the king.
Time for a hero of a different kind now, as we welcome the return of Dial 999. Robert Beattie stars as Mike Maguire, a Canadian Mountie seconded to Scotland Yard. Producers wanted to show how Mike's more forthright style of policing contrasted with what we might call the gentlemanly approach of his Scotland Yard colleagues. But a Mountie, as we know, always gets his man. The credits for this series read like a who's who of classic television. Writers such as Ted Willis and Jack Pullman. Directors such as Terence Fisher and Alvin Rakoff. And of course a great roster of guest stars including William Hartnell, Adrian Curry, Sidney Taffia and, you guessed it, Sam Kidd. We stay with investigators as we welcome another unmissable new series to your screens, The Cheaters. Another Canadian actor, John Ireland, plays a cynical investigator for London-based Eastern Insurance in a series first shown between 1960 and 1962, and also unseen for decades. You'll recognise John Ireland, who appeared in many films including The Good Die Young and Spartacus. And of course he's joined by some great guest stars including Paul Eggington, Angela Douglas, and yes, once again, our own Sam Kidd. We knew insurance was lucrative, but who knew it could be so exciting? It's always a joy to receive your letters and emails, especially when they contain memories inspired by watching Talking Pictures TV. Here's one from Margaret Wilson. Dear Noel, I was thrilled that Gene Pitney was on Will Tappers and Shunter's Social Club recently and sang Princess in Rags. Back in the early 60s in Hull at the ABC, I saw him live on stage. I was only 12 and wrote to him and he read it out from the stage and invited me up. But I didn't dare go up, even after the usherette and the woman sitting near me tried their best to encourage me. I just sat and cried. Gene Pitney then dedicated Princess in Rags to me. On my next school day, an older girl, Pamela Fox, remember her well, who had been at the show, told me I should have gone up, and I have regretted it ever since. Margaret Wilson. Well, I'm really pleased with how well Will Tappers has been re-received from you viewers out there. I mean, I think it's a hoot, a load of fun, and we seem to get a lot of people spotting who's in the audience. Of course, it was shot at Granada Studios, and of course Coronation Street was flying at the time, and I suppose one or two stars popped in to see their favourites, Roy Orbison, Gene Pitney and so on. So, but a great fun and a lovely bit of old British television, I think that encapsulates how you can get a big star on a little stage. We travel many miles now to the Wild West by way of Italy with a very unusual spaghetti western. The 1968's The Belle Starr story stars Elsa Martinelli in the title role. This cigar-smoking, gun-totting, singing gambler is perhaps more anti-heroine than heroine. But it's striking that the lead character is a woman. More unusually, the film was also written and co-directed by a woman. The Belle Starr story has all the great Western ingredients, with lots of gunfighting, card playing, and even some saloon songs. It's the wonderful Elsa Martinelli who holds your attention. This is a Western that you may well not have seen, but it's one you won't want to miss, swagger and all.
Right now's your chance to get out of here. Leave me the gun. Wait for me at the lake. No, I'm staying with you.
My final choice this episode is a classic war film based on a true story. The One That Got Away from 1957 is based on the true story of Franz von Vera, the only German prisoner of war to escape from the Allies and return to Germany. Starr Hardy Kruger's own wartime story is almost the stuff of film plots. Drafted into the Nazi army, he was sentenced to death when he refused to shoot on a troop of US soldiers. His sentence having been commuted, he eventually hid out in the forest but was captured by the Americans. Hardy managed to escape and went on to have a long career as an actor and an advocate for peace and democracy. Watch a fascinating man in the remarkable story of The One Who Got Away. Well, that's all we have time for, I'm sorry to say. Of course, there's plenty more to see on your favourite channel. And don't forget to write to me with your questions and your stories. If you want to know more about what's happening at Talking Pictures TV, why not subscribe to our weekly newsletter, which drops into your mailbox every Sunday. If you'd like to write to me, you can get in touch via email at noel@talkingpicturestv.co.uk. If you prefer to put pen to paper, the address to write to is Talking Pictures TV, PO Box 592, Kings Langley, Hertfordshire, WD4 4DB. Time for me to go now, but I'll be back soon with more of What's on TPTV. There's always something for everybody, so make a date and meet me back here soon.